Welcome everyone. Today we are blending another study formula or a demo formula from Fraterworks. This one is called Chinoiserie. Chinoiserie. And it is supposed to be a Coromandel type of fragrance, a Chanel Coromandel, which I believe it was launched in 2016. It is a patchouli balm. The formula, the fragrance concentrate, is roughly 50% patchouli. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Now, what I have here are the materials that I need. Again, split out between the woods, musks, the vanillics, ambers, the rosy florals, the aromatics, white florals, and irises, and the top notes, the citruses. And per usual, we're going to do some blending today and give it a smell at every step in the process to see what it smells like. And we are going to start with patchouli. Now, the formula I've transcribed into Formulaire, again, a wonderful formulation app created by Sam Macer, a perfumer in the UK. I transcribed it from Fraterworks into Formulaire using the materials that I have. I have basically everything that's needed, and if I don't have it, I have something that is extremely close that will work as a substitute. So, no harm, no foul. But to get this concentration to 20% concentrate in 80% alcohol. 20% juice, 80% alcohol. I have to use patchouli. I have to use the 100% patchouli. Everything else is at a 10% dilution. So we're going to start out with the patchouli. We're just going to start, we got 50-50. Now, the recipe here calls for patchouli heart, 100% patchouli heart. Now, I don't want to use all of my patchouli heart, so I'm going to do, out of the patchouli that we need, half patchouli heart, half patchouli dark. And this is just a wonderful, wonderful material. Now, I'm making a 10-gram sample, which means I need roughly 0.5 grams of patchouli heart at 100%. All right. Put that back. Come on. Okay. Patchouli 1 is down. Patchouli 2. A much bigger bottle because I tend to use a lot of dark patchouli. So I've got a bigger bottle of it. 50 grams here. All right. Ooh. Love the color. Love the smell. I know a lot of people associate patchouli with what? The 60s, with hippies? But not me. I don't have any memories to create that association. All right, 1 gram total of patchouli, 100%. concentration. Don't like it when there's stuff left over in the pipette. I feel like I'm wasting, even though it's probably like 0.01 grams, if that. Okay, so we have our patchouli. What I'm going to do is sort this by category, because next up we're going to add the rest of... Oh, my computer's shut down. Okay, so I have these in their fragrance families, split up into their fragrance families, and we're going to start adding these in. We are going to start first with the sandalwood, cedarwood, frankincense, and vetiver. Then we're going to add in ambroxan, then our musks, helvetilide, muscone, and civet. So, and then once that's done, we're going to give it a smell. We're going to give it a try. See where we stand. Okay, first up, sandalwood. I don't have real sandalwood, but I do have sandalwood Jivco, which smells very good. All right, for this we want 0.8 grams. Just about spot on. All right. What I love about the Jivcos, sandalwood Jivco, bergamot Jivco, etc. They all smell amazing. Orris Jivco. We've got Orris Jivco in this as well. They all smell fantastic. And so I have no qualms about purchasing replacements. Quite often I'll use bergamot Jivco. Geez, I pulled out the bergamot Jivco rather than the actual Calabrian Italian bergamot. So yeah, this stuff ain't bad. All right, back to null. 0.1. Looks like about 7 drops will do it. Setting it aside. Let's do frankincense. Yeah, we'll do frankincense. Thought maybe for a second we should wait on frankincense. 0.5 grams. 0.5? Yeah, not 0.05, 0.5. Half a gram. Okay. I recently picked up frankincense CO2 from both Somalia and India, and frankly was blown away by the opening on those two materials. Just wonderful, fresh, interesting. The floral notes I was getting off of the Indian frankincense, the CO2. All right, cedarwood, Virginia, 0.08. So not much here. Not much here. Yep, that'll do it. Last up, vetiver. Bourbon vetiver. I love me some vetiver. How much vetiver? 1/10 of a gram. Fine by me. Let's see, 7 drops? Nope, 8. So far, we've got a gorgeous color. All right, so let's write down on our scent strip. We'll call this is the wood base. And then we'll give it a smell. That's number 1. Give it a little swirl. Ooh. Yeah, the patchouli is so thick. The patchouli is so thick, it needs time to blend, to mix. That'll work. Let's do a tad. We're going to let this rest over here and start adding in. I'm going to save the ambroxan. Let's do the vanillas. Okay, coumarin, ethyl vanillin, vanillin, and then I'm using a vanillin tincture, a vanilla tincture I did. I believe the recipe calls for vanillin signature. Not sure what that means, but that must be a Fraterworks product. All right. Coumarin, 0.4 grams. Whew. For a fast drop, that was pretty accurate. I don't want to jinx it, but this is the most accurate, true to formula weighing that I've done yet. Usually I'm about 10% over, whatever it is. I'm just a few drops over. All right, we are doing ethyl vanillin, 0.36. Then 2 more. We've got 1 drop, maybe 2 drops of the vanillin tincture. Which smells quite wonderful. And it's got a beautiful color. Yeah, we need 2 drops of that. Okay, last up, vanillin, 0.28 grams, at least in this recipe, in this formula. I always call them recipes. Don't hold it against me. I do like how vanillin can smooth out and soften, 0.28, going too slow, and soften a base. If you're using some sharper woods, or at least what I think of as sharper, harsher, strong in the nose woods, vanillin can help chill it out. So vanillin, this is number 2. We'll give this a dip, then we're going to go back and smell our wood base. Okay, let's do it. As you would have expected, patchouli. You can pull out just a hint of the vetiver and cedarwood, that kind of dryness from vetiver and cedarwood. It's patchouli. It's patchouli heavy, but it's very nice. Let's try the vanillin. Number 2. This just beefs up the patchouli, but it gives it kind of a stronger core, a sweeter, stronger core. Gives it almost a more golden hue. Very nice. Very nice. You know what? Let's do our ambroxan, and this is going to be its own separate scent strip. Ambrox, this is number 3. And while we're here, I'll just get the musks ready. This is number 4. Musk. Okay, so for ambroxan, we have 0.16 grams. Let's see how apparent this addition is on the formula. Sometimes you add something and you can't pick it up. It probably adds to the complexity and depth in your nose, in your brain. It adds a certain something. But occasionally you add things and you didn't know you added it. Occasionally you add things and it completely changes the nature of your fragrance. I think of benzoyl salicylate as one of those materials. I think of hedione as one of those materials. All right, ambroxan, we're going to let you chill. We're going to add the musks and then come back to you. Let's go down. So we'll start with the civet. Interesting, little dirty note. Little dirty note, okay. Civet seems to just be, oh, that stuff's strong. Rarer and rarer in fragrance these days. So many fragrances are just clean, easy. One more. Whereas you go back to the 90s, 80s, 70s, boy, civet was in a lot of stuff. Not in everything, but at least in the study formulas I've been looking at. Muscone, okay? A small amount of muscone, and then a good dose of helvetalide. Muscone, looks like we're doing only a few drops. Thank you. Muscone is a nice musk. It's a touch dirtier, but it's a touch dirtier than helvetalide or galaxolide, ethylene brassylate, etc. But it smells wonderful. Okay, helvetalide, good dosage here, 1.12 grams. Okay, gonna need more. 1.12, almost there. Gonna need more. All right, we're there. Yeah, helvetalide is a very nice musk. Clean. Very clean. Not much to worry about when you put it in a formula. You're not going to really dirty it up like if you add civet. All right, let's go back to just to reestablish our base. Wood base, mostly patchouli. You got a hint of cedarwood and vetiver that kind of dries it out. Then we add our vanillin. Gives it a little more substance at the bottom. Then we add our ambroxan. Can barely detect. Perhaps it smooths it out, blends it together a bit, but I can barely detect the ambroxan. Finally, musk. Okay. Yeah, gives it a even smoother, deeper base. Very nice. Interesting. Okay, next up, we're going to do 3 categories. You know what? Let's save the beta Damascone, or the Damascone Delta. So what I have, you know what? We're going to save the linalool too. Ethyl linalool, why not? We'll break this up a little bit. Usually I have about 10 strips. at different levels of the pyramid. So what we're going to do now is add the more floral notes. Here we have rose, Jivco, Egyptian geranium, and a neroli accord that I built. I don't have neroli. I don't have the neroli accord Freighterworks says you should use for this formula, but I do have a neroli that I built. You know what? No, the Damascone Delta we're going to put into the rose. It'll just be a sweet rose. And then, yeah, then we'll see what the linalool, ethyl linalool, and linalool acetate, we'll see what that does as an addition. So let's call these red florals. And this is number 5. Then number 6. We're going to get into, we'll just put lin for linalool. That's number 6. Number 7, we're going to add dihydromercenol. Actually, you know what? There's not much dihydromercenol. We're going to keep that with linalool. Then we have our jasmine and orris. That's number 7. Then we have our citrus. And finally, we are going to have hedione. I like doing hedione last just to see what kind of effect it has on the formula. And this one that we're using is not normal hedione, it's hedione HC, or high cis. It just has a different ratio of certain isomers than normal hedione. Okay, red florals, let's do it. We're going to start with neroli. Even though it's not a red floral, believe the flowers are white? Question mark? I've never seen a neroli flower. I've never seen a neroli. All right, 0.16 grams. Now this accord is very nice. It's very nice. It's a lot like my orange flower absolute, but a little cleaner and a little brighter. Okay, 0.16. Okay. Neroli. Next up, geranium. Geranium is, to me, a relatively strong material. It can add serious amounts of body to a formula. Now, how much geranium? 0.1? Okay. So geranium here is a supporting actor to rose, which is 0.6 grams. Let me get percentage of the fragrance concentrate. All right, so geranium is only 0.5% of this formula, while rose is about 3%. So, how much rose? 0.6 grams. Ooh, wow. 1 pipette draw, emptied. That was a lucky draw. Okay. What I love about the rose, geranium, citronellol or citronellol, phenyl ethyl alcohol, all those rosy type materials, it adds so much body to your fragrance. You smell so many fragrances and don't think, oh, wow, that's a rose fragrance. But you have rosy materials in the formula. It just adds so much body. All right, reminding myself what the musk smells like, or what the base smells like with the musk. And at this point, it's pretty strong. It's a strong base. Yep, it adds a row that we added rows. Not much to say there. That this is nice. This is nice in and of itself. But of course, we have 4 more layers. We have our linalool, linaloyl acetate, ethyl linalool, and a little dihydromercenol. Then we're going to add some jasmine and orris, which I expect it to smooth out, lift, and round off some of the previous floral notes. And then we'll add some citrus, which should add a nice ping to the top. There's a lot of bergamot in this. And then finally, some hedione. So let's keep going. Linalool. Oh, hold on. I didn't do the Damascone Delta, which there is just a splash of this material. Oh, I need to redo my red. Let's redo it. Reds and Damascone Delta, number 5. Let's do it. Now here, there's 0.008 grams. That's 1 drop, and even 1 drop might be overdoing it, because usually 1 drop is between 1 and 1/100th of a gram and 1.5 100ths of a gram. That's usually what I get. Okay. Let's try it. You know, Damascanone, those are some strong materials. You don't need much. Having just smelled the rose, the geranium, neroli without the Damascone, and now with it, it is just a touch sweeter. A touch sweeter. Wow. That is nice. Okay, now we can do linalool. And there's a fair bit of linalool in this. 5.6% of the fragrance concentrate, or in this formula, 1.1 grams. I'm hoping linalool gives it a floral, fruity aspect. It just basically gives it more body, a little more color, without necessarily changing the nature of what we've added already, simply because it seems to go well with the floral notes, with like rose. Ethyl linalool. Wow. 0.6 grams. A little over. All right. Linaloyl acetate, 0.5. Wow. Linalool heavy and linalool derivative heavy, 0.5 grams, or 2.5% of the concentrate. Okay. Believe you can also use linalool acetate to boost lavender notes, or to support lavender notes. Because lavender contains a lot of those materials. Dihydromercenol, just a couple drops of this. 0.04 grams in this recipe, or in this formula. Yeah, it's 3 drops. Okay. Put that down. Whew. Give it a smell. We'll give it a shake, then a smell. It's a beautiful color. Beautiful color. All right. We'll let this rest. We're going to add our jasmine and orris. Okay, there is not much jasmine nor orris in this. The jasmine is only 1.5% of the formula, of the concentrate. It is 0.3 grams. Okay. I'm starting to get some of the throw off of those scent strips. All right, orris, 0.1. Boy, 1 drop, huh? Yeah, that'll do it. Wasn't much. This stuff smells good. Orris. Whew. Yeah, that's strong. Good job, Givaudan. Okay. I'm going to give it a mix, or give it a little shake. Take our scent strip and give it a dip. Let's go back, smell our rose and Damascone Delta. So on top of that patchouli, vanilla, musk base, that rose is sweet. It's rich. It's very nice. What happens when we add linalool, linyl acetate, ethyl linalool? It just brightens it up. It brightens it up a bit. Just gives it a little more lift. That's interesting. Gives it, okay, noting this in my head. I know all this, try to catalog this in my brain. Linalool, linyl acetate, ethyl linalool, little dihydromercenol serves to take maybe a thick rose accord, rose note, and it just gives it a little more pop, elevates it just a touch, gives it a little more brightness. Metallic is how I've heard linalool be used, and that is a great word, metallic. All right, jasmine and orris Chivco. Wow, you don't need much jasmine and orris Chivco to lighten up rose. The jasmine adds a really nice note. Ooh, yeah, that adds a really nice note. Let's keep going. Bitter orange, bergamot, and then we have the final touch, hedione, which there's a good dose of hedione in this. It's almost 10% of the formula. Okay, bitter orange. Love bitter orange. 0.2, it is 1% of the concentrate for this formula. This is a 10% dilution. And I love bitter orange, how it contrasts with sweet orange. I get a creamier, definitely it's funny, it's called bitter orange, but I get a creamier vibe than I do from a sweet orange, which is more transparent. More like orange juice, where bitter orange to me is like, it's got the creaminess of like an orange creamsicle or something. Orange sherbet. Okay, bergamot, 10% dilution, 1 whole gram. This is 5. Bergamot, if this was all 100%, bergamot would be 5% of the concentrate. Bergamot being a ubiquitous ingredient in formulas, it blends well. It's kind of citrus, kind of floral. It's a beautiful note. It works with many different materials. Like even in places where you think maybe bergamot doesn't belong, you'll find it in the formula. And it's just surprising. It's like a magic ingredient. Give this a stir. Okay. Need to let it evaporate. Give that a second. Last up, Hedione. This is Hedione High Cis HC. I have a 50% concentration here. We are going with 0.36 grams of this, which puts it at a 9%. 9% of fragrance concentrate is Hedione. I would expect this is going to floralize it. It's going to lift the formula. 0.36. Don't want to overdo this. All right, spot on. Okay, this was a simple formula to put together. Simple formula. Okay, Hedione. Let's see. Oh my gosh. I can smell it from here. I can smell the effect from here. If you know Hedione, you know Hedione. You know exactly what it does. It's not just, it's like a functional ingredient. It doesn't just add a smell to, it doesn't add a smell per se. It has an effect on the concentrate, on the juice. It's an amazing, amazing material. Oh, okay. I'm smelling the citrus now. The citrus addition. And I am getting that brightness from the bitter orange and the bergamot. Adds a very nice top. Hedione, let's see what the damage is. Yeah. Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. We're going to let that chill. What I'm going to do is I need to get a bottle ready. I am going to put this in a 5 ml tester. Interestingly, 5 ml holds 4 grams of juice. But this I will use to test on myself, test on my friends, maybe test on my wife, and just get opinions. What do they think? How would you describe it? Usually I don't tell them what it is. I'll tell them what's in it, give them some of the notes. But past that, I let their brains do the judgment, do the judging and the analysis. Okay. Wonderful. There we go. Okay. Well, thank you for hanging out with me today. Come back again. We'll mix up some more study formulas, and we'll have a good time. Thanks.